Hello, let's talk about tech. The main goal at CSS of technology is to use it to maximize student learning efficiencies. We're not going to use technology just to be able to say our kids have done some work with technology. In the process, students will gain the skills they need to be successful in college and the workplace. As social media and use of digital media becomes more prevalent, we've started to roll out a program to educate our students on responsible and safe use of those materials. We're looking at developing students' proficiency in coding in several different applications. We'll go into that in more detail a little bit later. And finally, as students become more occupied with technological tools, it's important that we look at ways to simplify the user experience. Now, I've gone through and broken our technology program into several different components. The first one here is infrastructure and foundational support. For each of these components, I've given the state of the union, those top bullets. And then down below, we have the direction we're headed under that blue future. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about where we're at right now, and I'll instead focus on illuminating the direction we're heading. So the future of infrastructure and foundational support, we're looking at incorporating a simple learning management system, LMS, in both the middle school and the upper school. And we're going to use Google Classroom. The official rollout time frame is starting next fall, 2015-2016 school year. We're considering going to a BYOD, bring your own device, which means each student has a computer device they bring to classes throughout the school day and they use on an immediate time frame. And we're looking at doing that in 7th and 8th grades, probably not 6th grade, because the jump from 5th grade to 6th grade is already a big one for students, and we believe that throwing another variable in there that's new to them will be just a little bit too much. Down the road a little way, we're looking at finding an integrated learning management system and student information system. Right now, our student information system is RenWeb, and our learning management system will be Google Classroom, two separate entities. And down the road, we're also looking at potentially becoming partners on something like the Global Online Academy. This will enable us to offer a more diverse array of courses, especially to our upper school students, that they don't have access to in a school our size. Baseline proficiencies, we're doing quite a few things already. Everything from word processing and teaching about cyber safety and etiquette, email, typing, all that sort of thing. And we're going to roll into kind of next steps on that. Right now we are teaching some Excel spreadsheet use. We believe we can increase that and make it a little bit deeper. As our students have gone from more paper type files to electronic files, we have not quite kept up there, and we're putting together programs to help students transfer the information they have about physical file organization onto their computer and learn how to use folders and folder arrays to classify and categorize their electronic files in a similar way. And as we roll out the Google Classroom learning management system, we'll of course teach students how to use that. Instruction and use of presentation software. We do quite a few different things with presentation software, everything from PowerPoints and Prezis to more still photo type things and then into video. And we use green screens, teleprompter stuff. Students are now actually choosing to use some of these tools for all sorts of projects as they get to the upper grades. In the future, we're going to continue to expose students to tools that come up. We're not going to jump on the favorite flavor of the day. It's more aligned to giving students enough diversity in exposure so that as they get into college and the workplace, they can find software they want to use, explore it, learn how to use it on their own, and put it into action. In terms of actual content instruction and practice, we do a little bit here. In the younger grades, we use IXL with math and some Khan Academy from time to time. In world languages, Contequemos and audio messaging. And in all subjects in the upper school, we're using flipped classroom videos and Google Forms. And as we go on ahead, we see the biggest gains to be in this flipped classroom model, and we'll extend that down into middle school. Coding. Right now we do some things in coding. You can see those at the top there. But we're looking at putting in a more intentional, robust program in computer program writing. And we're in early development stages, but this is kind of our thought right now. K through second grade, focused on logic and sequencing, not writing code yet. Third and fourth grade, we would shift the Lego robotics program down 1 year. And this is a drag and drop type application where they are putting things in sequence. They're not actually writing lines of code. And then in fifth grade, the Arduino circuitry program here, we have lines of code pre-constructed that students will modify to get the results they're looking for. And they'll see real life applications of that in terms of lights blinking on, lights blinking off, and that sort of thing. And you can go to quite a depth on the Arduino stuff. 6th to 8th grade is when they really start writing code from scratch. Probably we're looking at 3 realms. The robotics realm, which is probably Java or C, and entertainment, which is probably going to be Java again, and communications, which will more likely be HTML. So each student will get exposure to all 3 of those areas over their middle school career. And then in 9th to 12th grades, we're looking at adding in a computer science, AP computer science course, and right now we're doing a design thinking class, which might transition into an application of code class, or we may do a hybrid course there. And of course, we still have robotics club and computer club in upper school. File sharing is an important part of what we do here, and we've been using Google Drive now for several years to great success in several areas. As we transition into Google Classroom, we'll gain some efficiencies in terms of using one platform for both assigning work from teachers and for students to submit work. And this will simplify the file organization tremendously. This is one thing that we've run into with as many different files with naming conventions running around. It's been difficult for both teachers and students to keep track of everything. And Google Classroom will streamline that process. Some of these go hand in hand. BYOD is bring your own device. And as of this year, every upper school student has come to school with a device of their choice. So they have immediate access to online and digital resources. And a lot of the goals of the Bring Your Own Device program will be enhanced by that school-wide adoption of the Google Classroom Learning Management System. That's the LMS. And similarly, our digital portfolio process will be simplified tremendously by using Google Classroom as our LMS. Here are some of the kind of short list of the academic benefits of BYOD. I'll let you read over that. I'm going to shift gears now into something that doesn't have a direct, at least obvious direct connection to technology, and that is Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. And Vygotsky claims that there are really 3 areas in which a student resides at a particular time in the instructional environment. There are those things that the student simply can't do. He or she doesn't have the background or potentially the cognitive capacity at a given time to do it. On the opposite side of the coin, there are those things that a student has mastered. That's shown as the green in the middle of the target there. Those things a student can figure out on their own. They don't need support. And then there's the sweet spot in purple in the middle, what the student can do with teacher's help. And this is the place we target as the highest learning efficiency area, highest learning efficiency zone, and that's called the zone of proximal development. Shifting gears again here, we're going to look at the experiential education model using the flipped classroom, and this connects to the ZPD, that zone of proximal development. So the way the flipped classroom model works is at home, the student gets direct instruction from the teacher through a recorded lecture that has text, kind of like what I'm doing right now with a PowerPoint or something along those lines. And then after they watch that video, they take a short online quiz over whatever is presented. And then before class, the next day, the teacher reviews the quiz results to determine where the students are at. How much did they understand? What things are they confused about? And this helps them identify the general ZPD for the class. And then the teacher can tailor what they're going to do in the class to where their kids are. During the class, the students can review the weak areas targeted by the teacher, and the teacher can do that in person right then in the classroom. But then much of the class time can be freed up to engage students in more student-centered learning activities, laboratory investigations, debates, collaboration between students, those kinds of things that really can't happen at home. We can maximize those during class time. So in addition to hitting the zone of proximal development, we turn our classes into more student-centered learning environments. And here on this link, you can have access to this if you open up the actual presentation instead of the video. I'm not going to show it right now, but this will give you an idea of how Google Forms enable teachers and students to know exactly where they are to put them in that ZPD, the zone of proximal development. Why do we choose Google Classroom? In brief, it does everything we need it to do right now, and it does it using an interface and tools with which the students are already very familiar. And this video here, same thing, you can access this through the posted presentation, and it's basically a tutorial, a very short tutorial on how a student joins a Google Classroom class. So as they get in there, here's the opening page of Google Classroom, and under Stream, teachers can post announcements or they can post assignments. And these students then can go in. If they have an assignment, they complete it. What happens is it creates a classroom folder inside their Google Drive, and within that folder, they'll have all their classes listed. So if they submit a assignment for AP Environmental Science there on the top, then anytime in the future they want to see that assignment again, they can go right into their Google Classroom folder, open it up. Similarly, the teacher automatically is created in their drive an AP Environmental Science folder that contains all their student work. So the student and the teacher can access their Google Classroom materials through the Google Classroom side, or they can go in the back door through the Google Drive side and open up their folder. Now, to get teachers up to speed, we've put together a Google Classroom professional development classroom that teachers can go to for a variety of videos on how to do different things within the classroom. And we're also doing some in-person face-to-face workshops right when we get back from our January or winter break in January. That's what we're using our professional development time for. The timeline for the rollout of the Google Classroom learning management system is a bit staggered. We're giving middle and upper school teachers the option to start using Google Classroom right when we get back from winter break in January through the second semester of 2015-16. Keep in mind those teachers using Classroom at that point will continue still posting their assignments in RenWeb. However, by next fall, all middle school and upper schools will be using Google Classroom. So the transition will be complete by then, and moving forward, starting next fall, all teachers in middle and upper school will be on the classroom, as will all students. All right, have a great day. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again soon.